I'm here today to do another Top 5 Wednesday, but I changed the topic because this thing was your top 5 romance novels, and I kind of answered that in a Top 10 Tuesday recently. So instead, I'm going to talk about my top 6, I think, because I think I added one more romance authors that write purely romance stories. This is books that romance is it's like just contemporary with no other side plots. This is like my least favorite genre to read. I don't love it as much as I love other genres, but I really do love these authors and I will read anything by them. And I am reading more contemporary. Oh, I forgot to add Casey West to this list. So maybe it will be 7. I'll say it's 7. Because I really do like contemporary. I read them a lot over the summer, and I actually am reading them more than just the summer, as I talked about in my book resolutions video. But the first author I'm going to chat about is Stephanie Perkins, who wrote the Lola and the Boy Next Door series, and I love this series so much. Lola and the Boy Next Door is one of my favorite contemporary books of all time. I love this story so much, and I love Cricket and Lola. I just think that overall Stephanie Perkins really writes such realistic novels. I love how she focuses on so many times in a teenager's life, and I just love how all 3 of her stories were such different representations of a romance. One was the, like meeting a new boy in a different city. The second was a rekindled old romance. And the third was just a really unique way to tell a romance story. So I really, really enjoyed it. But Lola is definitely my personal favorite, and I hope she writes more romance books in the future. But for the moment, this book is definitely the highlight of her canon for me right now. Talk about is Ashley Poston, who wrote the Geekerella story. If you guys have been living under a rock or not watching my videos, I really, really enjoy this book a lot. I know she has diverted a little bit and she's writing some science fiction, which I'm equally excited for, but this was a book that just made me smile. I love this book so much. I smiled from page 1 to page 2. I just loved the characters. I loved how it was basically a love letter to fandom. And I loved how both characters had such a strong self-discovery novel, which is really, really important for me in contemporary novels. I love a good romance story. I love the focus being on romance, but the characters need to be on a path to somewhere, and I thought that Ashley Poston did that really, really well. I'm so excited to read her science fiction debut, but I really hope she writes more contemporary books in the future because I really, really enjoyed this one. That is Becky Albertalli, and I have so far read 2 of her books, Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda, and The Upside of Unrequited. Love Simon is coming out next month, and I'm definitely be checking it out. I definitely prefer Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda to The Upside of Unrequited, but I do love them both equally for different reasons. I just love Simon first so much. He was the first LGBTQ contemporary story that I ever read. And I really, really enjoyed it, and it just impressed me. But Becky Albertalli just really writes such realistic characters. There is never a moment when I'm reading her books that I'm like, oh my god, that would never happen, because she writes her teenage characters so realistically, and I'm so excited for Leah on the Offbeat that comes out this May or this June. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm so excited for that book, and I will literally leave anything by her. And I know that she's working on a co-authored project with Adam Silvera, who is another one of my top contemporary authors, who I should have added on this list, but I didn't. So as a shout out, don't forget to check out Adam Silvera. He's another strong LGBTQ writer, and I really do like his novels, the ones that I have read anyway. But yeah, Becky Albertalli, definitely a good author. If you've not read anything by her, I highly recommend you read Simon versus the Homo Sapien Agenda before Love, Simon comes out, because I'm sure the movie will be incredible, but that story should be read first. That's just my opinion, but overall, I really like Becky Albertalli, and I hope you will consider picking out her books in the future. The author I'm going to talk about is Katie McGarry. I love her 2 series that are currently out, the Pushing the Limit series and the Thunder Road series. If I had to choose my favorite book in the Pushing the Limit series is Dare You To or Chasing the Impossible, and my favorite book in the Thunder Road series is either Walk the Edge or A Long Road Home. I love all her stories, but those 4 books are definitely my top favorite. I'm so excited to dive into Say You'll Remember Me, that just came out this month or last month. Hopefully I'll get to read it this month. If not, definitely next month. It's definitely on my TBR. But I really, really love how she took such hard issues and crafts such a heartbreaking yet realistic novel. They're definitely more of a grittier, emotional novel, but super, super well done. And I just really, really love both these series a lot. I have never met her. She's on my bucket list of authors to meet, but I am so excited to be reading all the novels by her, and I am so excited to read her new one, hopefully this month. I'm going to chat about, because I added one more, is Jennifer E. Smith, and I love all her books. I've read The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight, This Is What Happy Looks Like, The Geography of You and Me, and I think that's it. I have to read her 3 other novels and an e-novella that's after this book, so I have a couple more to read, and I hope to dive into them this summer. But yeah, those are just some of the books that I've read by her, but This Is What Happy Looks Like is definitely my favorite. It is one book that when she comes back to New York City, I must get this book signed. I couldn't get it signed because I couldn't find it when she came here, so I have another one of her books signed, but this is one that I definitely really, really want to get signed by her. I love Celebrity Meets the Girl Next Door, and I just loved it. And there's a pet pig in this novel, which I just love unique animals. So, of course, this one definitely went on my top romance books ever, but I just had to give a shout out to it. And if you have not checked out anything by Jennifer E. Smith, I would highly recommend This Is What Happy Looks Like or The Geography of You and Me. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Jennifer E. Smith. Talk about is Morgan Matson. And none of her books are in my room, so I will attach a picture of my favorite book here. Currently out. I'm so excited for Save the Date, which comes out in May, but I definitely love The Unexpected Everything. I love them all. I loved how they really dealt with such different topics. I think I love them all in different ways. If you want an emotionally devastating novel, check out Second Chance Summer. If you want kind of a fun scavenger hunt novel, check out Since You've Been Gone. If you want one that has a little bit more family drama and a little bit more self-discovery, check out The Unexpected Everything. And if you want a book that just has a cool way to structure it, check out Amy and Roger's Epic Detour. They're all so fun. I read them all over the course of 2 summers, and I just really enjoyed them. And I really, really am excited to hopefully meet her if she does a book signing for Save the Date, because it just sounds like such a cool concept, and I really, really like her as an author. So those are all my thoughts on Morgan Matson, and I hope in the future you'll consider picking out some of her books. To talk about in this video, I did add a couple additions to my blog post, is the author Kasie West. P.S. I Like You, Lucky in Love, Love Life in the List, and By Your Side. So I actually have a lot of books that I still haven't read by Kasie West that I really would love to finish in 2018, especially her science fiction series, which I'm really intrigued by. But yeah, so those, I really just like her characters. They're so fun. They're just fun reads that just make you feel good at the end of the day. But I love how every book I've read so far has dealt with a harder topic, like a mom's dealing with mental illness, or a dad's dedeployment, or just other topics, or like winning $1 million and the impact of that. But there's always a harder issue that's represented in it, and all the books always have an element of self-discovery. My personal favorite is, I really did like By Your Side and Love Life in the List. Love Life in the List is probably my top favorite out of all her books, but I really do want to read The Felon Boyfriend, Distance Between Us, and On the Fence, and her science fiction series. So I do have a lot more books to read by her, but so far I'm really loving what I've read so far, and she's definitely becoming one of my top contemporary authors. So those are all my top romance authors that I try to read as many books of that I can, and I'm trying to branch out and read them all during the year and not just during the summer months, which is a definite big change for me. But there was just so many romance books and just not enough time to read them in those 3 months I allotted for myself at the beginning of my reading journey. So I'm really happy that I'm extending my reading journey to romance all year long and not just during the summer. But if there are some authors that you think I should check out, let me know in the comments or on my blog post, and I'll be sure to add them to my TBR. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye!